Good afternoon, my fellow Americans. As you all know, today is Mother's Day, and celebrations is taking place all over the 48 continental United States and even its protectorates, the Virgin Islands, Hawaii, in celebration and in honor of mothers in this country. And when I thought about this day, I woke up this morning and I began to think about one of the greatest mothers that walked the earth. And this mother was Mary. And I honored her and I began to think about her, not because I'm Catholic, because I'm not, but because she birthed and carried for 9 months the Son of God, the Son of Man, the Son of the Most High, the Son of Righteousness, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, known in those days as Rabbi, Teacher, and Yeshua. And what is so fascinating is that the Lord took me to one of the great miracles that was performed by Mary's son, Jesus, who was incarnate. In other words, he was fully God and fully man. And that was the first wedding that was performed in Galilee, in which Jesus and the disciples were invited together with his mother. We all know that anytime you attend a celebration, the last thing that can ever happen is to run out of drinks and wine and food. You will be talked about for years and seasons to come about how they went to your party or your wedding and there was not enough drinks at the wedding. And so when Mary told Jesus that they had run out of wine at the wedding in Galilee, what is so powerful and fascinating was that Mary, now out of all the guests, was the one that was most concerned. And it behooves one to think that mothers are usually the most concerned about our well-being and our plight. Usually they carry wisdom, and that's why in the Bible, wisdom is referred to as a she, a female term. Pardon me here, but Jesus said, and I quote, "Woman, what has this got to do with me?" And then he went on further to say that his time had not yet come. But you all know that there's this common term that we use in the secular world that says that mothers know best. And she just turned to the servants and said, "Do whatever he asks you to do." So she had intuition, foresight, and wisdom to know that she was in the right track to ask her son to intervene, even though at that period in time, when Jesus was responding to her, he was speaking from a godly perspective, because after all, he knew Mary before she came to the world, because he's part of the truing God, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and they were existed from the very beginning. And in fact, they said, "Let us create man in our own image and in our likeness." Male and female, they created them all. But yet, since Jesus was also fully human, he knew that there's the commandments that said that honor your mother and your father so that your days may be long. So Jesus, even though in the beginning had made kind of a slight objection, decided to heed the counsel of his mother and ordered the servants to take 6 empty jars, okay, and to fill them with water, and call the captain and the host of the wedding, which today is called the best man, or the person who's in charge of the wedding, and to take a teaspoon and to taste the wine, and it had taste the water, and it had changed to wine. My point is that mothers always give us counsel, wisdom, and advice. And sometimes as adults, we may not choose to heed the call or to follow that advice. If you're a young child, I say to you today, you may give flowers to your mother because it's Mother's Day. You may buy her something that she likes, whatever it is that will make her be happy about what you brought her. You may buy her chocolates. You may bring her a gift on Mother's Day. But the greatest advice that you can do to your mother, if you're a teenager, a young child under your mother's care, is to obey your mother. And if you're an adult and you've left the home because you're now married and gone on to do bigger things, or you're in college, or you live on your own now because you're no longer in your parents' care, but you call your mother, anytime you share with her some challenges you face, and she gives you an advice, heed the wisdom, take the advice, because they not always know best, but they always have your greatest concern. The same way that Mary was so concerned about the host and the people who were getting married, that their wedding not be scarred by lack and insufficiency, that she called upon the only begotten Son to rescue that wedding. I felt that Mother's Day began at the wedding in Galilee. Mother's Day began at the wedding in Canaan. Mother's Day began the day that Mary intervened to save that wedding from being talked about as a wedding that ended up in disgrace. When you obey your mother, something good comes at the end. When Jesus chose to obey his mother, a great wedding is being talked about till today. Water was changed into wine. That is a good wisdom to learn. Jesus was telling you and I that it's always good to listen to our mother, even when we're not sure where they are going, even when we think that, I don't think this sounds like a good idea. Honor your mother and your father. I believe that is the greatest gift that you can give to your parents. Today in America, we have a situation where many parents don't even talk to their children, and their children are quarreling or fighting with their parents. There's a lot of dysfunctionality in the family. I hear a lot of friends say, I haven't seen my brothers and sisters for years and we don't talk. And everyone gives an excuse why that's the case. But I'm telling you that this is the time to be reconciled with your parents, no matter what may have occurred between you and them. If you're one of the people I'm speaking to that has not spoken to your parents because of what they did to you or what you did to them, we must learn to forgive. Unforgiveness is an idol. When Jonah was in the belly of the whale, he reached out and cried out to God. And he recognized that it is written in the book of Jonah, chapter 2, that those who carry on with their idols, forsake the love of God in them. In other words, unforgiveness was an idol. Jonah had unforgiveness towards the people of Nineveh. He felt they did not deserve the mercies of God. So I'm asking you on Mother's Day to use this opportunity to also learn to forgive your parents if they have done things to you that you did not like. Maybe you were abused sexually. Maybe they abandoned you at a very young age. Maybe they didn't live up to the reputation as responsible parents. And so you had to go to a foster home and to be brought up by other people. Maybe you were abandoned by them. Maybe they were on the streets doing the things that was the oldest job in the world, prostitution. Whatever it may be, go back and be reconciled with them. Obey them. For when you obey them, the heavens will be open to you. And no one in heaven on earth will be able to accuse you of anything. Because you have learned to do the right thing, which is to honor your mother and your father. I want to thank you for this opportunity for listening to me. You know, everybody's putting their 2 cents these days on Facebook and YouTube. And I just thought that I'd share this with all of you. That Mother's Day transcends beyond just sending gifts and flowers, even though those things are noble and honorable. It means honoring and respecting them, holding them to the highest form of veneration that they deserve, overlooking their offense or anything that they may have done that may not have sat well with you, and embracing them. Because just as Mary carried Jesus in her stomach for 9 months, and this does not make a difference to even those mothers who may not have carried any child but have chosen to adopt or have no children, you're still a mother in the eyes of God. Thank you, and may God truly bless you this day. May God's light shine upon you. May His grace and His countenance be a crown upon your head. And to the mothers of America, I thank you for being mothers to your children and to other people's children. And may the Lord truly enrich you with uncommon wisdom, understanding, revelation, intuition in these last days to guide your children in the right direction so that it shall be well with them. Thank you, and God bless you.